Welcome to another unboxing video from theplayersaid.com. My name's Alexander, and today we're taking a look at something that's a little bit different here from anything that we've played before, if I'm honest. And this is called A Splendid Little War from Legion War Games. And this was put out in 2019, I believe, so this is 3 years, or two years old now? Coming up on 3 years old. So this is a game on the Spanish-American War, and we maybe played maybe one other game on this, but it was a naval game, and it was not my favorite. So this is a hex and counter land-based war game, and this is the U.S. Campaign in Cuba is what this is. It's designed by Andy Nunes, and two-player war game. They say that it can be solitaired pretty easily. I don't know if there's much hidden information in this one, but once again, if you've not played any of Legion War Games' titles, go to their website and you will find a game on something that you've never heard of before, or something you didn't know you wanted, because their kind of thing is doing conflicts that haven't been done before. I don't know if they have a Bulge game or a Barbarossa game, for example, but Randy, who is kind of the sole proprietor of Legion War Games, him and his wife, he searches out games and titles which are unique. And whilst every conflict's been done in a magazine at some point, having a big boxed game with premium components is something that's nice to play around with. So, with all that being said, let's crack this open, see what we've got. So Legion's going to give us two 10-sided dice, yellow and black, and a bag of bags, which is always nice. And let's see. Oh, this was printed in 2020. The box says 2019, so I don't know. I guess maybe they updated things. I'm not sure. We do have a little sheet of errata done in the style of the rulebook, which is nice of them to do that. But the rules themselves, we've got about 16 pages. If you've read any of Legion War Games' rules, they all look like this. Fairly large typeface, and the font style is very easy to read. All the counters are referenced side by side in full color. Then we have a terrain effects chart on the back of the rulebook, but they also print them separately as well. And these are single-sided, so you can just kind of leave them out. You don't have to be flipping them over for your CRTs on the back, because they keep the CRTs, of which there are two. He says, looks like there's. So yes, this is the fire combat results table with all of our different modifiers and explanations of results and things like that. Again, single-sided. But then we also have two identical assault combat results tables, which maybe a little bit more detailed. There's a lot of different results that aren't just numbers of losses that you're taking. And then we have also our interesting. Victory. Okay, this is just kind of a more generic play aid. So we've got which units affect victory, yes or no. So, some units will affect victory through losses, others no. Morale standing, weather, supply phase, command phase. All of your kind of regular play aid stuff that you'd expect. So that's quite a lot of cardboard. But the reality is I'm going to have two of these handy, of the fire results and the combat results. The opponent's going to have two handy, and then maybe these two I'm going to set up next to the board. So it's not as bad, but that's, just bear that in mind. There's a lot of cardboard in this one. Looks like we have two sheets of counters, and these are all single-sided. These are just plain white on the back. So, and again, Legion War Games uses pretty thick white core counters. These they don't mess around. But their printing on their counters is always extremely nice. The iconography that they use, don't just use standard kind of combat NATO symbols. You wouldn't in this because of the time period, but it's also not just like some black and white silhouette or anything like that. They really go all out. So these are kind of the Spanish units, or the Cuban units, so to speak, with a couple of kind of supply markers. Then we have the American units, a couple different shades of, looks like these are Cav units, these dark grey. Indian units, volunteers. We got artillery pieces and some mounted cav as well. And then we've got regular infantry. So this is General Lawton and his 2nd Infantry, I guess. And General Kent and his, maybe his 2nd Army and 1st Army down here. So there's a number of different unit designations there, but again, they're beautiful counters and they're single-sided, so you're not flipping them over or anything like that. And a couple outer command markers, a couple of admin markers down there for assault combats and things like that. So those are very, very nice. Let's have a quick punch. Let's see if these are the older ones. Nope, these are the newer ones. The older ones you had to like really struggle to get them out, but these are punched fairly nicely. And you could play with them as is if you're a barbarian, but clip your counters. You know you want to. And then the last thing that we've got here is the map. And again, this is a piece of history which we've not played anything on in reality. Let's see, have I got it upside down? Yes, I do. Flip it around for you. 22 by 34 map. Real nice heavy paper. So we've got over here Santiago Harbor and Santiago de Cuba. And then over on this side we have our game turn tracks. Yellow fever contraction. That's a hold track. So we're going to be fighting the enemy and we're going to be fighting yellow fever. So don't get up to 95% and everyone gets sick and dies and loses the campaign. That's probably going to happen. Then we have garrison movement points. What we've got here are very large hex map with each of the hexes labeled. It's a pretty strong hex overlay as well, so it's very clear delineation of what's what. And I know that this one, you can play the whole campaign, but there also are scenarios for, I think there's for like individual battles that were fought in the campaign, so you don't have to play the whole hog, which, let's see, do they put a time frame on the back of this? It takes 12 plus hours. No, yeah, if you play the whole campaign. So, but there's the Battle of El Caney, Battle of San Juan Hill, and then a scenario that combines both of those, or you can play the whole campaign. So, you can play smaller smaller parts of this to get to learn the scenario and then set up the whole thing if you were so inclined, or you can just go whole hog and do the whole thing. But each of your units is like a regiment or a battalion, usually some of the smaller units are companies. But again, piece of history that we haven't played anything on really, especially a land battle in the Spanish-American War. I don't think we've ever done anything like that. So I'm very excited to play this, and don't think there's any reason you couldn't solo this. But I'll read the rules and let you know how that looks, or if I do it, then we'll kind of make a video on that too. But this is a splendid little war, the Santiago campaign, July 1st through 14th, 1898. From Legion War Games. Give it a go if you're looking for something that's a little bit interesting, a little bit different, that isn't just another World War II title. Legion has a great website with a whole bunch of different bits and pieces on there, and this is one where I want to learn something about this and engage in this piece of history, so let's go for it. So appreciate you guys tuning in. I've been Alexander from theplayersaid.com.